Hey everyone, today I'm going to talk about dependency security. A lot of times we think that Clojure dependencies are safe and sound because it's stable, but we are not immune to these security problems. Today I'm going to talk about using Snyk to help us to scan our dependency if they are all safe and sound. So before we start, let's log into our Snyk account first. Now, if you haven't registered it, you can go to their link. I will link it down below. You can register it. It's free. Not until you become like a corporate or a company, then they will start charging you. So what we would do would be using Snyk Auth to authenticate ourselves, to log into it and grant all the access. Now after that, cool, has been authenticated. In your IDE, for example, VS Code or like myself, anti-gravity, cursor, or JetBrains ones, you are going to find this Snyk security plugin. Once you installed and enabled, click on this icon. You will see there are 5 sections. We're not talking about this one. On top, in the summary, it talks about what's the overall summary as a breakdown. And these 3 parts are especially important. First, we're going to talk about this one, the configuration issues. It's mostly about the IAC, so infrastructure as code, or your Docker files, things like that. The second one is the code security. The code security is related to cross-site scripting, these sort of unsecure code or SQL injection, things like this. And finally, today, this is the one that we're going to talk about. This is the open source security. This is going to check the dependencies that have been open sourced, if they can find any bad ones, old ones. But as you can see over here on the left hand side, it says scan failed. The reason why scan failed is because Snyk does not support Clojure officially. However, since we are running on top of JVM, that means we are able to generate something called the pom.xml. With that, Snyk is able to check if our dependencies are safe. So first and foremost, let's learn how to generate one. If you never really used deps.edn, this is a good time to sort of know that, oh, there's a hidden feature that you can generate the Maven pom.xml. Now, with that, we just do clj-x deps mvn-pom. What it does is to generate a Maven pom.xml. As you can see over here, it's open here. So you list out every single dependencies in this project. So everything looks fine, right? Ring is 1.14.1. Everything looks good. Now, like I said, now we can scan it. I will talk about it when we're scanning. So once we have a Maven POM, we can take a look at what's going on. It will scan through all dependencies and list out the ones which has the vulnerabilities or we should upgrade. So we see there are 8 issues in our projects right now. There are jetties, there are Postgres. If you want to know more, we just simply click it on there. As you can see over here on our right hand side, it specifically says it's Ring 1.14.1. So now we know that Ring has dependencies, issues, well, not issues, it's security warnings. And in our code, in our IDE, you can see that the red squiggly line, it shows which are the ones that are vulnerable. Right now, let's search up the latest Ring and we'll use the latest version. Currently it's running on 1.15.4 and we're not going to update the Maven because they would be a little bit crazy, right? We don't know which one is which, right? What we want to do is to change the deps.edn version. Now, it can start running again. However, it won't change anything. It will still give you these 8 issues because it doesn't scan the deps.edn. And I also pointed out it's because Snyk right now is running on watch mode. So they watch whenever there's any changes, they watch it and just rescan it. So now it's a good time to generate a new Maven file, and then we will rescan it and you will see the difference. Remember, we start with 8 issues. After the scanning, we should be lowering, at least remove the ones that it point out the Jetty version. Like, okay, this is where we talked about. Now you see there's, on the left hand side, we can see that the Jetty warning is no longer there, but we still have a couple more. For example, the Postgres one. We have also the Jacksons. Okay, what we want to do is to upgrade it. What we want to do is to just upgrade it in one shot. If you know Borg dude's fantastic work, it's called Neil. Obviously came from Lion. And this is a superb CLI that helps us to spin up a project, install dependencies, and it can also upgrade the dependencies. So just by running these 3 words, we have upgraded our whole deps.edn. You remember, the Postgres was sort of older, and now it jumps to 42.17.11. Now, if you don't trust me, we can go back to here. We can take a look. This Cheshire, is it called Cheshire? I don't know how to pronounce it. This Jackson's file is 5.13, right? We'll go back to here. It has jumped to 6.2.0. Great. Now, same old, we're going to generate a new Maven file, and then we'll rescan it, and you will see the warnings will be a little bit less. Okay, it's done. So let's rescan it. I want to talk about this is because I found Snyk is to be very helpful. Not only that we can scan it directly in our IDE, it can also, if you just let it access to your GitHub account, it can scan through it. It can access a bot. Whenever you push something, it can scan it for you. So I think it's very convenient, especially now in this day and age. If we're working by ourselves, we always want some companions to help us out. Okay, so now we only have one single warning left, but there's nothing we can do because this is the latest version. But the only thing I would wrap up before I go is, remember, Clojure dependencies are very stable, but it doesn't mean it's completely safe. So always scan your dependencies and see if any vulnerabilities. You don't want those to sneak in. So just keep yourself safe. Always have this IDE on, or at least use once in a while to check if there are any dependencies security issues. In the future, maybe I should explore a little bit more about Snyk, the platform, and code a little bit more in Clojure. I'll see you in the future. Bye.